Ladies and gentlemen, the other day I spoke on boycotting, and I want to make sure that my stance is clear about certain things. I know that boycotting is something that has been done when a group of people have a disdain or have a gripe with a company or this, that, and whatever. I'm not saying that I'm against boycotting. All I'm saying is that we as a community, African Americans, black people, whatever it is that you want to call yourself, melanated people of America, should ultimately focus on building up our own community. We should focus on purchasing our own homes, owning the land that we live on, owning our own businesses and things like that, not out of hatred, anger, or disdain for anyone else. We need to focus on that because it is a reflection of how much we love and care for ourselves. If I clean up my house, I'm not cleaning my house because I hate my neighbor. I don't do my yard because I hate my neighbor's yard. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that because out of a dislike for my neighbor. I have nothing against my neighbor. It's just that this is my yard. You're supposed to clean up your house. You're supposed to own and upkeep and do good for yourself. That's what I'm saying. And I'm just saying this for anybody who has may have misconstrued what I was trying to say. You know what I mean? I was trying to say some things without necessarily saying it because, I know the powers that be and people, try to do certain things or try to put something on me that I don't necessarily need to deal with. But what I'm saying is that ultimately we should be worried about building our own equity. When you have nowhere to go, people will disrespect you because they feel like they can, intentionally and unintentionally. But people will treat you what you act like. If you act as though you have nowhere to go, then they will treat you like you have nowhere to. If you act like the bottom, they're going to treat you like the bottom. As a community, and now let me just say it plainly, as a community, black people in America need to focus on building up our community. Or I should say rebuilding our community, because years ago we did build up. You know about Rosewood, Mississippi, Black Wall Street, and all these other communities that were destroyed. So we have to focus on rebuilding the economic foundation that was destroyed years ago. We have to rebuild and build it better and protect it for our children and our children's children and the generations to come. Buying our own businesses, circulating our own money. If you want to shop elsewhere, that's fine. But you should be able to have a choice. Right now, we're in a position where we have a very little choice, or we believe we don't have much of a choice but to go elsewhere for our resources. We have to focus on changing that. If we don't, then every now and then we're going to get upset with how we're treated or what somebody said or what somebody did, and then we got to go back to boycotting. Nothing wrong with expressing how you feel or your discontent or disappointment with somebody. But the best way to secure yourself is to get your own. Have your own house, have your own hotel, have your own brand, your own line of cars, your own toilet tissue, your own soap. All of these things, all of it is possible. We need to build ourselves up until a point to where we become our own competition, where we have our version of Pepsi and Coke competing with each other. And it's not out of hatred of anybody else. It is about love for self. That's what this is about. How much do you love yourself and your children and your children's children? I love my children enough to buy the land that they live on. I love my children to make investments. I love my children enough to create things to where they don't have to look elsewhere for a job and they don't have to look elsewhere for resources. I love my wife enough to where she don't have to look somewhere for a job. I will create a job for her. That is the mentality that we have to get back. I won't say have to get, we have to get it back because we did have it at one point. I just wanted to clarify myself, clarify my stance on what I said. Like I said before, and I won't keep repeating it, this is not out of hatred, discontent, or anger against anybody else. This is about love for self. Me loving myself, me loving my community does not mean that I dislike or have a disdain for another community. I want to fix my house. And I don't have time to explain to somebody why I want to fix my house. If I say I want to fix my house, I don't want to have a conversation about, well, what about all the houses in the neighborhood? Well, I mean, that ain't my damn house. I ain't got nothing against everybody else's house. I'm saying my house is broken. And I need to fix my house, if you understand what I'm trying to say. That's all.